What's up, guys? Fantasy Football Cable here. Today, for our first very episode on this channel, I'll be telling you just a couple things you should know before you draft. The first tip I'm going to give you today is one of the important ones. It's if you don't get one of the top 3 tight ends like Gronk, Jimmy Graham, or Tony Gates, you want to be the last person in your draft to pick a tight end. Reason being for that is maybe besides Vernon Davis, everybody else below those 3 or maybe 4, they're all going to average around the same amount of points. As long as you get a starting tight end, you should be fine. At number 14, no matter how many people keep telling you, I promise you that in week 1, I know he tore his ACL, but it doesn't matter. That this guy, number 20, Adrian Peterson, he will be healthy for the start of the season. And when he is, he's gonna be a top 10 fantasy player, probably a top 3 fantasy running back. He might even be better than Arian Foster, LeSean McCoy, Ray Rice, all those guys that in the mock draft on like ESPN or CBS. Everybody is telling you to pick one of those 3 first, which I'm not saying you shouldn't. However, that if you can take Adrian Peterson in late 2nd round or early 3rd round, go ahead and take him because he won't let you down. The risk is way too low for way high of a reward. Number 13, we're going to be talking about Chargers running back Ryan Matthews. He was supposed to go really high in all the drafts, number 6 overall, something like that. And he's a beast, but the guy is just injury prone. In 32 career games, he's been on the injury report list 15 times, which is way too high. But if you can get him in like the late rounds, depending on how your draft goes, you can take him but you might only get a few weeks out of him depending if he stays healthy. But if he stays healthy, then you made a good choice picking him. Number 12, I thought I would just have a little bit of fun with this one. It's about Calvin Johnson. You do have to remember about the Madden curse. And Calvin Johnson, he's supposed to be a first rounder, but he could get injured because of this Madden curse. I'm not telling you this. I don't want it to stop you from picking him, but it's just another thing to think about if you're deciding between 2 people. Who's gonna stay healthier, and not to mention he has had ankle, calf, and a lot of leg problems throughout his career. Number 11, we're gonna be talking about the Browns' 3rd round draft pick, Trent Richardson. He's had 2 leg surgeries. He's a rookie. Plays for the Browns. He's a risky pick. I'm gonna leave that one up to you, whether you want to take him or not, depending on how your first running back is. But he's definitely not first running back material. I mean, definitely a flex player. If you can get 2 other solid running backs, he can definitely be a flex. I know he's like 35th, so I know it's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna leave that one up to you. At number 10, I put a picture of an Eagle here because I'm an Eagles fan. Ever since like Brian Westbrook, Brian Dawkins, I've liked the Eagles, hoping for a championship this year. But we're going to talk about Tom Brady. He's just like a close second behind Aaron Rodgers, like for the draft, and then Drew Brees is right behind him. But he's just got potential to bring the Patriots back to the playoffs this year. Especially with his receivers he's got. They're insane, like Gronk, Hernandez, Welker, Brandon Lloyd, Deion Branch, and I guess they're like working on Plaxico Burress. But probably in most drafts Aaron Rodgers is going to go before him. But if you have a pick like 3 through 7, I would definitely consider taking Tom Brady because I had him last year. Brought me to playoffs. But he's just a great fantasy player. Has a lot of passing yards every game. He's a great pick. Number 9, we're just talking about Drew Brees actually, but we're going to be looking at my favorite fantasy quarterback this year, Michael Vick. If this guy stays healthy, he's honestly a threat to put up 40 points every single game. Just because he's a quarterback that can run, and if you're playing in a league where you get a point for every 10 rushing yards, then he's great because he can run the ball, and most defenses forget to look out for him. They tend to just go and cover the guy, completely forget about the quarterback, and then he just runs the ball and picks up 10, 15 yards of carry, which is a point right there, which can be very valuable. But I mean, and he's got a cannon. He's got some good wide receivers. He's got some solid wide receivers to throw to this year, and it's great because he's only supposed to go around 35th, like around third, fourth, late third round, early fourth round, and so you can pick up 2, maybe even 3 players, 2 running backs, wide receiver, 2 wide receivers, running back, whatever, before you even touch a quarterback, and still have a great quarterback. Number 8, instead of talking about just one single player, we're going to be talking about the whole entire Indianapolis Colts roster. Well, not the whole entire, but the people that you can pick in fantasy, like Andrew Luck to start with, had a first great preseason game, and if for whatever reason you forget to take a quarterback to like round 12, chances are he'll still be there, and he'll be able to put up a solid amount of points. Donald Brown's going to have a breakout year this year because he's the starting running back, rookie quarterback. They might be looking to run the ball a lot. And Reggie Wayne, he was a top 10 wide receiver at one point, and then he fell off the charts for a year. But I think he'll be back now that they have a quarterback that can throw to him. And now they don't have Pierre Garçon, so he's pretty much like their one and only wide receiver this year. And you'll probably be able to get him in a really late round. So look out for him on draft day. At number 7, we're going to be talking about 4 different teams right here. The Packers, Panthers, Patriots, and Redskins. It doesn't have to be insanely late for you to draft a running back from any of these teams. The Packers, they have Cedric Benson, but Aaron Rodgers throws the ball 50 times a game, and you just can't trust them giving him red zone carries. With the Panthers, they have 3 running backs: Mike Tolbert, D'Angelo Williams, and Jonathan Stewart. I don't know how they're going to evenly distribute the carries, but I can guarantee you not one of them is going to get most of the work. The Patriots, they get Stephen Ridley, Shane Vereen, and Daniel Woodhead. None of them are star running backs. If you're going to take one of them, go with Stephen Ridley. I think he'll get most of the carries. And the Redskins, I don't know what's going on there, but a lot of injuries between running backs, Ryan Terrain, Tim Hightower. You just don't know who's going to get the starting job at the start of the season, so play it safe, and if you can, go around picking from any of those teams. Number 6, if you don't get a quarterback in the early rounds, you want to be the last person in the draft to fill the quarterback slot, with probably one of these guys, Tony Romo, because he's got some great weapons, Dez Bryant and Jason Witten. Phillip Rivers, the only problem with him is he tends to throw a lot of interceptions, and he's got Ryan Matthews in the backfield, who's going to be a great running back, so they're going to want to look to give him the ball. But he's got Antonio Gates to throw to in the red zone, so he could be a good pick. Matt Ryan, he plays for the Falcons, a great team with Roddy White and Julio Jones for him to throw the ball to, so look to pick him up too. And then lastly, we got Peyton Manning. He's going to be really good, but he's going to be going really late, so look for him on the draft board if he gets to the late rounds and you still don't have a quarterback. Number 5, don't ask me why I do it, don't ask me how I do it, but for some reason, every single mock draft I do, I end up with this guy. Randall Cobb plays for the Packers. He's got Aaron Rodgers to throw to him, and with Donald Driver being as old as he is and still playing for whatever reason, Randall Cobb is going to get a lot more balls thrown to him, so he'll probably still be in like the 16th round, like the last round of your draft, and he can I think he'll be a threat this year, so look for him. At number 4, if you go a quarterback and tight end, running back, not running back, I lied. If you go quarterback, wide receiver in the first 2 rounds, there are a number of solid running backs out there in the 3rd round that I'd be more than fine with having, assuming now that I have a clear-cut advantage of the 2 most consistent positions. like Jamal Charles, Fred Jackson, Steven Jackson, or Marshawn Lynch. He had that run in the NFC Divisional against the Saints that I think none of us will ever forget. Sorry guys, but I had to do it. I'm going to throw a little what if at you. I'm not going to tell you any of these guys' stats when you get into your live Snake lobby, or you can do research on them later. I'm just going to give you what if, not say anything. What if Darren McFadden stays healthy? But when you do look at his stats, just look at the first 3 games before he got injured. And if he stays healthy, just see what could happen if you pick him. Number 2. Before you go picking Reggie Bush and Beanie Wells because they had some solid seasons last year, just remember that Reggie Bush has Daniel Thomas behind him, and who can potentially lose the starting position real quick. And that Beanie Wells has Ryan Williams, and he missed his whole season. He missed his whole rookie season last year. Doesn't mean that he can't come back and steal a starting position right out of Beanie Wells. So it may look tempting to take them, but just remember that they could lose their starting position really quick. And for our last tip of this episode, I'm going to tell you one of the most important things in drafting. I would definitely not take a wide receiver in the first or second. Definitely a running back, quarterback, or tight end in the first, and almost always a running back in the second. Unless one of the top 2 QB or tight end falls. Wide receiver value is way too strong in the 4th, 5th, and 6th to spend early picks at that position. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll come up with more before the start of the season. If you like them, please leave a comment, and of your other ideas that I can help you out with to help you get that championship trophy for fantasy, maybe win you some money too. Later guys.